Welcome, everybody, to the final episode of this pilot of Black Love When We Met. I'm your host, Trey Holiday, and this has been such an amazing week. All of these amazing Black couples that have shared their stories. I'm just so honored that they trusted me and trusted Converge Media to really wield their stories in the positive light that they are. We are here to uplift Black love, and it's been such a whirlwind this week. Got to give a huge shout out to everybody out there that's been participating, watching, commenting, sharing it with their friends. As we always say, tag and share the stream right now. This is the final episode, and you guys can always go back and watch all the other episodes anywhere that you find Converge Media. Got to give a huge shout out to our partners over at the State Hotel. Each one of these couples is getting an amazing night stay at the State Hotel. Also, they are getting tickets to Alvin Ailey. So, Alvin Ailey is coming next weekend on the 26th and 27th. Shout out to Alvin Ailey for that and helping us to curate an amazing date night for our couples. And of course, shout out to Presidential Transportation. G-Prez, we so appreciate you. It's going to get real presidential for these couples with your Black car service over there at Presidential Transportation. And let me tell you, it is very high class. I've been able to experience it myself. So really sending our gratitude to all of our partners for Black Love When We Met. Thank you for trusting us. Thank you for believing in these stories and in this show. And I get to close the week out with some amazing folks. I'm going to tell you, I have got to see Erin all in her element, all throughout community, doing amazing things. And I just got to really experience the support her husband, Quin, is giving her. You know what? The way they support each other. Let's bring them in. You guys, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having us.
Good to be here.
Excellent. Yeah. You guys, final couple. So you guys, no spoilers for y'all. You got to see how the show is formulated. But, I get to ask these questions and kind of help guide this conversation tonight. I want to start at the beginning. I mean, you guys were young when you met. Tell us about the beginning of when you met. I'll start with you, Quin.
Oh, boy. When we met. So 2004. I applied to several colleges, and I went to Garfield High School. So upon graduating, applied to Eastern Washington, applied to Southern University, applied to LSU, and I got into all of them. But I didn't have no money. So I chose Southwestern Christian College. And, hindsight is 2020, but it was the best decision I ever made. And I got there, 2004. They have something called Fish Camp, and it's where they send all the freshmen there, right? So the freshmen get to meet, they get to kind of, learn each other and meet and make new friends and all that. And I was on the basketball court, because that's what I do. I play hoop. And, I was just doing my thing. And I saw these two girls on the court, right? Saw her and her friend Liz. And, so I go over there, I start shooting. And I start talking to this one. We start talking. And we got on the subject of my birthday, right? And I said, oh, yeah, my birthday is January 9th. And
your sign.
Oh, my sign. Okay. She can, she got a version too. So she asks me, when my birthday is, and I tell her January 9th, and she says, stop lying. And she carded me. I had to show her my ID, right? So I take out my ID, I show her. Obviously, it says January 9th, and come to find out she's got the same birthday as me.
Oh.
So long story short, 13 years later, So ever since that moment, we didn't really, it was shoulder to shoulder. She wouldn't let me go.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, see, that's what you guys share birthday January 9th?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. So wait, are you guys Aquariuses or
Capricorns?
Okay, well, fellow Capricorns in the house. I'm 1227.
Oh,
okay, no wonder we have this connection.
That's right.
Oh my gosh. So you're there on the court, you're with your homegirl. Tell us about that experience for you and how you were soaking up this new environment.
Yeah, it was an opportunity, like you said, for all the freshmen to come together, like an orientation, kick it, on your first, I think it was the first weekend, right? I think it was the first couple of days we were there. And they rented out this big rec center because we went to a really, really small HBCU, like you said, Southwestern Christian College. Shout out to SW, student body of like 200 students. And yeah, so everybody was there, and I'm a former hooper. And And I'm just shooting around. And like he said, he was on the court, and I was like, ooh, he's cute. And so, I was like, what's, just shooting the breeze. What's your sign? And he told me he was a Capricorn. And I was like, when's your birthday? He was like, January 9th. I was like, nah, let me see your ID. And he was like, what I gotta lie to you for? Like, he was snippy. And I was like, ooh. But yeah, he showed me his card, and I was like, that's my birthday too. And we actually rode back to the campus on the bus together. And like he said, we've been locked in ever since.
Oh my gosh. And where were you coming from? What state did you come from? Because you were coming from here. Where were you coming from?
Yep. So I'm from San Francisco. In my senior year, we moved to Sacramento. So we experienced the push out too. That you all do a lot of organizing and advocacy around. I grew up in Fillmore in San Francisco, and so we experienced gentrification. The blessing of it all, though, my mom was able to purchase a home in Sacramento, and I was highly upset because I had to spend my last year of high school in a city that I just did not like. So yeah, I spent a couple years after graduating high school doing community college, and then I was like, I got to get up out of here. It was too many distractions. And my grandfather served on a board for 33 years of the college. Our family grew up doing a lot of fundraising for the college. Many of us matriculated through the school. And I was like, let me go see what it's talking about. And like he said, I'm so glad that I did. Yeah, so good.
What an amazing already. Okay, that's a whole new unique to. I love all these couples because you guys got something so special about you. I had no idea that you guys shared a birthday. That's a whole nother thing. We probably do a whole series on couples that share a birthday. But then you guys are now at college, and obviously college is a demanding environment in and of itself. But how do you guys take your connection and stay focused, particularly as you're really getting used to this new environment? Erin.
Well, I would say, we locked in. So academically, socially, we participated in a lot of the same activities. We pledged because we were at a Christian college. So they had this, organization called Kingsmen and Angels. So we both pledged that organization. We both sang in the choir. Our choir traveled to fundraise for the school. And, we both... we basically tried out for a freshman singing group called
Testimony.
Testimony, that's right. Testimony. And then we did spring tour. So we did a lot of things together. And so I think that's what helped with our focus, in such a, like you said, in a new environment, an environment that could be extremely distracting. But I would say the good thing about being in that space is, they didn't allow a lot of shenanigans. So even though we indulged in a few. But yeah, I think just us, being tapped in with each other and supporting one another. We studied together. We made study sheets, cheat sheets, all the sheets.
Keep it real.
To make sure that we were able to get through. So, and also like cooking in the dorms and, making plates.
College life, you had to do what you had to do to survive. I had to make my little hot link cheese sandwiches on my George Foreman grill. You know what I'm saying? I had to keep it real, slanging the sandwiches out of what room was I? I think it was room 105. No, I don't know what room it was, but college kids are broke usually. So you got to do what you got to do. So,
but it really means something when you can meet somebody early on. Y'all hadn't even been there for very long before y'all met up, and then y'all locked in like this. Quinn, how was that?
It was the second day.
Yeah. The second day you're hitting the campus, and already you got this beautiful queen, and it's like, okay, look, we're gonna do everything together. We're gonna build friendship. We're gonna do all these things. Tell us how it was for you, because I can't imagine either one of you expected to meet your soulmate a second day on the college campus. I can't.
So there was a brother who went to church with me before I actually left for school. We called him Captain, and he told me before I left, he said, you're going to meet your wife down there, right? And I said, I'm not going down there, trying to play it cool, right? So I didn't have any intentions of seeing and meeting and trying to get with the first person that I, started talking to. So I got down there with stay focused, get in my Bible, stay focused on my schoolwork and all that. But it was just something about, I mean, I don't think God makes mistakes. And it was just something about our interaction, you know. And at first, I really wasn't even, you know, trying to make that leap. But for some reason, it just clicked. And it just felt right, you know. So I didn't want to fight it, you know. I was still, you know, kind of confused in some ways being a young man, trying to learn myself, trying to, you know, figure out who I was as a man. But she helped me. You know, she was very wise, and I respected her family too, finding out that her grandfather was on the board, and that she had a lot of support. You know, a lot of people don't have that support. So knowing that she came from a strong family, it really gave me confidence in who I was dealing with, and you know, it made it easier. So,
oh my goodness, you guys, you guys, I can't even deal with this right now. I mean, the truth of the matter is that it's like a movie. you guys are reminding me of higher learning right now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, look, oh man, locked eyes. You know, we just stayed together. I mean, there's got to be a lot that you guys went through too as young adults. I mean, we're talking about a collegiate environment, and yesterday talking to Latrice and Kenny about a high school environment when they were trying to lock in. There's so many competing guys and girls around, and I gotta. How did you guys deal with it? How did you guys deal with that? Because as you guys are building your friendship, I'm sure you got people around you that are like, what? You already done got booed up so quick. We can't even, you can't even enjoy some of this other stuff. How was that for you, Erin? As you guys were just now really kind of connecting.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I too came down, I went 2 years older. So we have the same birthday, but I'm 2 years older. And I've had some experiences, and I was like, I'm going laser focused. Like, I'm not fooling with nobody, because that school is already known for when you get down and you're gonna marry, you're gonna get married. You're gonna find your soulmate. And one of my aunties and uncles did. And so, I went down there trying to be focused, not fooling with no dudes, just about my academics. But yeah, I locked in with Quin, and I mean, other than like the exterior, like he was one of the most mature young people I had ever like engaged with, and I was just like clink, clink. And so for me, how I navigated that, like I wasn't stunting nobody else, right? Yeah. And I put all my partners was on guard. So anywhere, like
put them on notice. Just so y'all know,
I put everybody on notice. And then, I even had people like who was trying, if I wasn't around, like I had watchdogs, Yeah, look. Big Baby, Amber, Denicia, everybody looked out for me, you know what I mean? And really looked out for us. And just, because you're right. It's so much temptation. And I would say, even some of the challenges around, like you said, trying to navigate, like this newness, like he's coming from Seattle, and, he got folks he still tapped in with back at home, and for me, like the cutoff game was real for me. I was like, I ain't fooling with nobody from back at home, but I would say that was a challenge, for him, just trying to figure out, like, am I going to rock with her, or am I going to still kind of entertain this one back at home? And, you can speak to your own challenge.
It was a challenge for me because I didn't have a lot of experiences, especially in high school, and then getting right into college. I had trust issues, I could say. And I didn't really deal with a lot of people except the people that knew me from when I was younger. So getting down there, I went down actually with a brother of mine, Trumanda Hilton, who's also a preacher at the church I go to, and I went down with another brother, Ernie, and who else did I go down there with? It was True, yeah, it was just True and Ernie. So I had a collective I went down there with, and that was my focus, But it was just a good experience to be down there and just to see what I could see. But like I said, my experience down there was kind of eye-opening, and it was kind of culture shock. Coming from Seattle, it's diverse, but going down to Texas, it was like
all black everything.
Yeah, and I had never really experienced that before, so it was kind of like wow. And then I have this girl. It's like whoa. So I'm trying to deal with all that at the same time, and You know, it was a lot, but you know, I'm thankful to God that I was able to deal with it and you know, come out unscathed.
Yeah.
And if I could just jog your memory
Sure.
just a little bit, I think, you know, with the influence of his homies, you know, trying to help him stay focused and seeing me as a distraction, right? And like we went through like several little breakups, right? And I'm like,
I mean, a couple.
yeah, it was quite a
several.
few.
It was.
You were trying to figure it out, right? And I mean, going back to what he was saying, like he hadn't had a whole bunch of those experiences, and so trying to navigate me, one who I came strong too, you know, and I truly believe his partners was trying to protect him, you know, but you know him like I'm trying to juggle, you know, them telling me one thing, and I'm, you know, like you know, you at me, and I just, you know, and I'll try to, you know, give that space too, but I was like, no. You got to figure this out.
I know one thing that kind of helped me decide, and it took a while. You know, my mom, she passed away when I was just about to go to high school. I was in 8th grade, and my mom was very nurturing. You know, when people are going through something, she would send cards. She was very, she was about service. She was about serving the people, and that's what I immediately noticed about her. You know, when we would travel in those singing groups we were in, you know, she would always go make my plate. She would iron my clothes before we go out and perform. She would do all these things that my mother would do. Not to say I was looking for my mother, but she had those elements and qualities of a woman that I was not looking for, but I noticed, you know, and I felt that, okay, that's different. You know, not every woman does that. So I was taking notes, even though I was going through my little struggles and in trying to figure out who I was taking notes, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, she might be it. So
wow. So for you then, Quin, what was that kind of that over the marker point where you're just like, you know what, I go from kind of being a little bit confused about this and a little taken back because this energy is strong and I didn't expect this. I wasn't looking for this. You know, my friends are kind of in my ear. What was that moment for you where it was like the tipping point and you were just like, you know what, I'm really about to see what's up with her. You know, before you even answer, can we just give them a shout out for this outfit right here? Okay. You know, look, I just got to just one time for the one time on the coordination. I got to give it to all the couples this week who have just showed up and showed out. Y'all said, you know what? We last day, baby. We're going to make sure we gonna make sure we floss hard. But sorry, Quin, tell us about what that moment was for you in terms of that. You know what? This is it, and I'm gonna be serious about this.
So in a lot of relationships, I think, you know, a lot of men, they come to a point to where, and I would just speak for myself. I know I said a lot of men, but you know, we hit a point in our relationship where this is after we graduated, and right after I graduated, I had moved to Florida to see my dad. I hadn't seen in about 10 years, and she went back home to California, and I was there for about 5-6 months. Had to leave, and then I moved to California, and I was there for about a year and a half, maybe a year. And you know, I had made some mistakes. You know, we were together. I had made some mistakes, and we took a break. You know, we had to take a break because of the mistakes that I was making, and it was about 2 years. We took a 2-year break.
2-year timeout.
Yeah, you know, and we took a 2-year break, and I'm thankful to God that we were able to have that break because it allowed me to get my stuff together. You know, I moved back to Seattle during this break. I was in Seattle, got my EMT certification, got my own car, got my own apartment. I was working, saving up money. She had got a car. She got a Mercedes-Benz S430. I told her not to get. She got anyway. She
That was
deserved
a breakup car.
Yeah, it was. She right. She deserved. I couldn't say nothing about it. But I started. Was I paying I was paying the car note from up there. So I had to show her that I was serious because at a certain point I was like, you know what? She's it. There's nobody else like her. I needed her in my life. I couldn't live without her. And I had to show her better than I could tell her because her mom has a saying, love does. You know, people can say love all the time, but love is a verb. It's an action. You got to show somebody that you love them instead of just talking. So I had to put it in action. And after a while, you know, I had to say, I'm ready. You know, she was able to see, are you ready? And she saw it. I moved her up. we got married shortly after in 2009, and the rest is history. So
my goodness. I mean, Erin, I love this because you're like, look, hold on. I'm gonna be real frank with you, Quin. You know what I mean? Look, there's some things you got to show me before I can make that real commitment to you. How was that 2-year breakup for you, Erin, as you're dealing with, okay, he's made some mistakes, but you also probably still have this draw to him. Tell us about your perspective of that time frame.
Yeah. Thanks for going and pulling it on out, because it is what it is, you know, and it was hard. That was hard. We actually, he proposed to me on our birthday in 2007. Yep, it was 2007. He was so nervous, girl. He got on both of his knees. He was so nervous. And then so we were engaged January, and then we broke it off in October. And he wasn't ready. I was way more ready than he was. And yeah, I mean, that 2-year break needed to happen. I truly believe that it really gave him the time that he needed, because I feel like because I was so strong and because I put on so much pressure, you know what I mean? The timing was off. And so, you know, he dibbled and dabbled to try to see if the grass was greener. And, you know, you gotta go and see sometimes, you know? And, you know, that 2 years, I would say, was hard, but we were friends the whole time. Like, we still traveled together. We would still link up, you know, and kept in contact. But just didn't go get serious with anybody else. Like, for me, I made that commitment. Like, I don't want to go and try to commit myself to somebody else. Like, I'm serious with him though. Like, I ain't playing, but I didn't want to give myself to anybody else like that. So I waited. I waited. And I truly believe that he prepared himself for me too, you know, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys, that's so beautiful in terms of the foundation of not only when you met, but how it really began to lock in and kind of cement itself on itself for both of you. So you guys have really laid a solid foundation. After this short break, you guys, you know it, we get to dive into how their love blossomed, how it took off. Now they got us all the way up to the engagement and the wedding. Let's figure out what happened after all of that and how it blossomed even more. You guys stay tuned after this short break. You're watching Black Love When We Met.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Hey there, it's Trey Holiday. And of course, Besa and I had to take a trip back to Market Street Shoes to grab some items. They always know what to show us. And let me tell you, we both spent quality time to be sure we collected some amazing additions to our wardrobes. They have some of the most unique bags, shoes, and accessories. I mean, the whole shebang. It's always a good time when I get to shop with my girl Besa. Make sure you go check out Market Street Shoes, y'all, and you too can walk out with some dope gear.
Hi, this is Robert Battle, Artistic Director of the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, and we're thrilled to be performing live on stage again. Come see the extraordinary Ailey dancers during my 10th anniversary season and enjoy some wonderful new work, plus returning audience favorites, including Revelation.
When the pandemic hit, it did affect me. As a barber, I had my own personal reasons why I didn't get vaccinated. At the time, I didn't check the actual source. I thought the vaccine was developed too fast, but I was talking to a doctor and he was telling me more about the vaccine and what it can do to protect us and our family. I wanted to get back to that once was, right? I do feel safe knowing that I am vaccinated. I just hope what I'm saying is reaching into people's heads to know that this is the best decision for all of us.
Welcome back, everybody, to Black Love When We Met. I am here with the Thomases. They're in the building. I got Erin and I got Quin in the building. They just shared with us much of their foundation for their love story. You guys, I got to say, you guys really left us with a really positive note here. And as I was saying to you during the break there just a second ago, that there's a lot of women who do what you did, but for the wrong guy. You know, they're waiting out. Maybe they put that pressure on. They back off, trying to, hey, you go ahead and get it together. But, you know, they're sitting there waiting for the wrong guy. So just wanted to publicly say kudos to both of you for, you know, Quin, you stepped up to the plate, you know, and Erin for you holding out, you know, for him. It's just a beautiful thing. So at this point now, you're up here. Tell us about that, because how did your family respond to you being like, all right, y'all, I'm going to go be with my man? Like, tell us about that, Erin.
Yeah, that was tough for my family. I come from a really tight knit family. My mom had 4 children. I'm the youngest of, well, 3 girls and then a boy, but I'm the youngest daughter. Neek, Leela, and me, and then Elliot, and then my nieces and nephews. And in 2009, and I have a god sister, Coco. And in 2009, yeah, we had all come back. We were all like living together, and we had agreements like rental lease agreements and all of that, right? And yeah, I just was like, I'm going. And it was really, really hard. It was really, really hard for all of us. You know, I would say, because my family knew, like, you know, the breakup and all of that, and the heartbreak, like my sister hearing me bawling out in my room. And you know, so my sister's like, you about to go where? For who? You tripping. And you know, sometimes you can't really explain it. You can't tell people. It's hard to explain your why, you know, but I'm like, I'm gonna go, you know, there's a lot of opportunities there. I'm gonna go back to school. And you know, but I was really going to go get married. And I would say, you know, Quin really tried to, because they knew Quin had come to live in Sacramento for a year and a half. And my mom actually even opened up her home to him, had me move out. I had to move out. I moved in with my sister. But we all had, you know, kind of worked together and worked it out.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, just, you know, Quin even came into town. We took everybody for dinner and then loaded up my car, and he drove me up. And you know what, my niece and nephew, they would always clown and be like, I'll never forgive Quin for taking you. But one of the things I would say that Quin has actively done is make sure that my family has been incorporated in, you know, our being up here in Seattle. And actually, when I say active, like made sure whatever requests I made as far as my family coming, my nieces and nephews would spend the summers every summer with us. And it took me 10 years to get all my siblings up here.
Everybody started the Great Migration.
The Great Migration from the Bay, you know. And so my two big sisters are here. My brother is here. My god sister are here.
Aww.
And so, you know, we got our little, we waiting on my mama to get here. But it was hard. It was hard. But I would say, you know, again, actively put in the work to kind of smooth that over and let people know, like, I got her, y'all. You know, and he, you know, has done a wonderful job with.
I got you.
He got me, taking good care of me.
Quin, how was it for you and your family? I mean, here you are, you're back in Seattle, right? So you got family here, and now you're like, no, I'm doing what I got to do to get my woman up here. You know, as you fly down, I don't know if you drove down and then driving back up. Like, how was that for your family to receive Erin as you guys, you know, said, no, this is where we're both going to be settling. This is going to the next level.
So I don't like playing the comparison game, but being with her family and seeing how tight they are, my family, just got to be honest, we're not tight like that. Mm-hmm. Maybe in spurts we are, but when my mom died, it kind of, you know, everybody kind of, you know, went to their own caves or whatever. Obviously, we're still in contact and all that, but we're not as tight as her family is. So I didn't really divulge a lot of information to my family. Mm-hmm. But they were very supportive when it was time to get married and all that. When it was time to have our reception, they came through. My cousin, she's a amazing artist, Kayla. She's an amazing artist. She draws and she's a baker. And she made our cake from scratch. It tasted good and it looked good.
Wow.
Sometimes it looks good but don't taste good. So it was both. So that was good. Shout out to the church for hosting our reception downstairs in the reception hall. And the church and my immediate family are my family. And the church really came through for me. They've been there for me ever since I came up here and ever since my mom had passed away. So I have obviously a blood family, but my extended family is my church, and they've been there for me since day one. So they were very receptive to her, very receptive. Her spirit, the way that she cares for people around her, it was very resembling of my mom, like I said before. So it was easy. She's easy to like. She makes it easy to like her. She makes it easy to be around her because she's not selfish, she's selfless. So, and as time went on and my family got to know her better and better, it's just been, smooth sailing since. So.
Well, I gotta say, I agree. I ditto, because she is fantastic. And I'm gonna be honest, because sometimes I think I'm a little bit, partial to Capricorns because we just are hard workers. So both of y'all are writing my book already. But I was just telling Erin that, last weekend, how much I just admire her in space. And it's really a great thing to be around amazing people in general, right? And to see yourself reflected in how people show up in community. That's something that you get to see with her all the time. And I want to dive into you guys' work and how it plays out in your relationship, because I've seen Erin, the Village of Hope, just do now with, the King County Regional Homelessness Authority. Like, at the end of the day, I've just seen you be in spaces and everybody knows that they can count on you. Everybody knows that you're going to come through, and if for anything else, you're going to make sure that they know, wait, sorry, I can't do this or that. You're very, very attentive to the needs of community. How has that been for you, Quin, to really see your wife be like that, not only in your family, but also in community?
So just going back to the beginning, to where she first got out here, and to see where she is now, I mean, just to look at that chart, it's a constant climb, and to see her form relationships with people. And she's not a ladder climber. She's not seeking to attain the highest level. It's just happened so organically. So to see her where she was and to see where she is now, while at the same time raising 3 boys, being a wife, being a mother, balancing all those things, I'm in awe many times. I don't know how she does it. She's in pain every day. She was in a bad car accident back in 2019. The kids were too, and really, realistically, just changed her body, to where it's hard to do things, but she doesn't let anybody else really, she's not complaining. She has a Theragun right over there. That's there. So she's got to take care of herself, but she does it, effortlessly. She does it gracefully. And the boys, which is really, one of the most important things that I can see, is that the boys know her work. They see her working. They see her out there talking with community. They see her out there helping people. My son, my oldest, Sydney, we were driving in the car one time, and he has the same heart that she does when it comes to helping the community, helping homeless people, people that are experiencing homelessness. My son saw somebody on the corner, and he just started crying. And my son has that heart. He cares for people just like his mother, and she's pouring all that into them. So she might be out working a lot, but the boys are getting that. It's a part of them. And that's one of the things that I just so love about her and appreciate, that she's able to do all those things and still have the power and the energy to do that for the kids and me. So, yeah.
Well, it really says a lot about your support. Literally, it says a lot about you being her better half and being that rock, that solid rock at home. Erin, tell us about that, because the way that I get to tell y'all. So last weekend we're at an event, and I told Erin this, and I almost teared up on you. We was getting into it, and I said it was just so refreshing to see your husband. We're at this dinner, community dinner, and Erin goes, babe, can you just make a plate for these 3 people that they're on their way? You know what I mean? They're not here yet. Just, can you make them a plate? And Quin's, oh yeah, babe, no problem. And literally went and got these 3 plates. Now, it's probably something so small for you, Quin, but it impacted me so hard, right? Because there's something to be said. I get it, because I'm in community and I've felt a lack of that kind of support. Like, you know what? No, whatever you need, because I know how you're showing up for people. And I get, like you just said, my sons get to feel that. They get to have that in their lives with you as their mother. There's something to be said that to me, that's very special. And I really took to that. It was so small, but I told Erin, I said, just to see him have no problem, instead of being like, huh, what, make plates for who? You know, like, I don't know what, you know, what you talking about? Like, you know, I'm over here eating with my boys. Like, I made my plates for my boys. Like, what more you want from me? But you were just like, yeah, babe, just chill. I got it. And it was so simple. So tell us about that support and how it plays out every day with you and Quin, because you guys really complement each other in that way. That's what I just witnessed in one setting.
No, yeah, thank you for that acknowledgement, and thank you.
You're welcome. You're
'Cause
welcome.
I know I am not easy.
I can take it.
I am not easy. You know, doing community work, organizing work, anything outside of your home and in your home is hard. And it's so necessary. And to have a support like Quin eases the burden. It does. You know, he's super supportive. And one of the things I used to always say, you know, when I first got married and even throughout my marriage, I don't want to lose myself. I don't want to lose myself in him. You know what I mean? And he has supported me in, you know, as I discover who I am, you know, and yeah, I so appreciate that. And sometimes I don't even realize how much support you do give. That does ease that burden. That does allow me to be my full self. And I know that it does take a toll too, you know. And so I just appreciate your ability, you know, to manage all of this.
It's, you know, it's a struggle, you know, because it's not all peaches and cream, right? Sometimes she's out there, she's doing the most. And like I said, she's, you know,
He'd be like, you need to sit down somewhere.
sometimes she needs to sit down, and it's hard to tell her to sit down. And I don't want to, I told myself, I don't want to hold her back. I see what her passions are, and I want to be an accelerant to those passions. I want to be a supporter. I want to say, go, I got the boys whenever I need to get them, you know, and I want her to be her best self and do what she loves to do, you know, but at the same time, it's important that, y'all know self-care is important, right? Mentally, physically, spiritually. And we're always working on those things. So just making time for those things, as well as being in the community, is very important. So you know, it's the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
And you got to learn how to balance that. So that's what we try to do. So.
And I appreciate him for offering that to our relationship, because I wouldn't be any good, you know. So I appreciate that he brings that to our relationship.
You guys, I'm telling you, my heart is aflutter right now, because as somebody who is in community, I realize, and I was I'm literally telling Erin this just last week. I said, I realized that that's really what I'm going to need. The ideas of, you know, being out here, being in community. We care so much. It is more than work. It's not a 9 to 5. Sometimes we're on calls, and I know them village calls, sometimes they go until 2 in the morning. Look, I done heard. And I'm like, man, see, I'm always busy when the calls are happening, so I miss them. But even the time I was on, I'm like, I'm staying on. We just keep on chopping it up. And it, you know, there's so much there, but yet there's always going to be that need for family. So how do you feel, Erin, that you balance that out in terms of supporting Quin with the things he's doing professionally, and, you know, you being that wife in those times and every day when he needs that from you?
Yeah, you know, one of the things I will say in response to that is, like, I see so much potential in my husband, and sometimes I feel like he puts his aspirations, dreams, and all that on hold for me and the boys, right? And I'm like, no, you could do all of it. He's like, no, like, not you can. And so just also getting clear about, like, we're different people. And so you know, really disrupting those expectations that I would have and putting them on him, then putting the pressure on him around, like, you got to be showing up like how I'm showing up. It don't work like that.
Yeah, the last time you put pressure on me, it didn't really work out too good. Right?
It didn't. He's like, I'm not you. And I'm appreciative that you could tell me that. And I got to figure out what I do with that. And really I'm there. You're there, I'm there. And whenever you want to step into it and how you want to step into it, I'm there.
Yeah.
So it's something that I had to learn about him. His temperament is totally different than mine. We may have the same sign and all of that, but we're different people, so yeah.
That's great though. And I gotta say, I mean, you said something earlier, Quinn, that really reminded me that real love. I love how you said that love does. Love is literally giving, seeking nothing in return, right? That's really what love is. And in Western society, we have such a warped understanding of it because we involve a bunch of emotionality and physicality and sexuality into what we deem as love. But the idea is that you get it because it's about what you do in those moments is so key. So, I mean, I got to ask some fun stuff. I mean, how do you guys deal with the same birthday? What does that look like on January 9th every year for you guys to celebrate each other and celebrate together? I mean, some of the photos you guys sent us was you guys traveling all over the place. I'm like, okay, they know how to have a great time, in the midst of your 3 children. They're there with y'all. Tell us about some of those amazing birthday celebrations you guys get to embark on with each other.
So I'm simple. I don't require, she knows this. I don't require anything. I'm low key. I'm singing in the background type of dude, right? I'd rather sit in the back and let her shine. That's kind of how I am. But she's so sweet. I think it was my 30th, and she threw me a party at my house, right? And she invited all my boys and everything. And I didn't know what was going on, but I pulled up. I used to work the swing shift, and I got off early one time, but there was all these cars out in the driveway, and I'm like, okay, I think I know what's going on. But I get in there and it's packed, and I'm like, oh man, it was a gold themed birthday party, black and gold. And I'm like, man, this girl, she just, I don't know how she do it, right? And that was one of the memorable birthdays I think I've ever had because, with her doing so much already, she just has, and she works best under pressure. Don't give her a deadline. If you don't give her a deadline, it's not going to get done until the last minute. But if you give her a deadline, she won't work on it till the day of, and it'll be the best thing you ever seen. She is amazing. I've never seen anything like that. Me, I got to focus, sit down. I got to write it out. I overanalyze, but back to the point. Tangent. Anyways, yeah, it's the birthdays and the celebrations are not really high on my part, but on her part, it's her day. It's her day.
And I so appreciate him because birthdays have always been big in our family. My mom, she always does it big for us. And so to share a birthday in the beginning, it was cute. It was cute. But
she gave me a couple.
It's my birthday, But yeah, we just try to make sure we get a sitter. We go out to a nice dinner. We get dressed up. We make sure we take an annual photo, for our birthday. And yeah, one of the years we tried to just sit and write and just do some intentions, but we literally just sat there and just talked, and ate some good food. And it literally is we're gonna eat. That's what that's for sure. But just because we don't get a lot of time, and so our birthdays are almost one of the times a year we get to just be with each other.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are talking about your family dynamics, and we cannot let this night go by without talking about the boys. You guys have 3 young ones, young kings at the house. Tell us about not only their ages, but also tell us about how parenthood then took, sometimes that could be a make or break moment, but tell us about some of the maybe ups or downs that you guys dealt with in terms of parenthood and dealing with each other's love. I'll start with you, Erin.
Okay. I'll say that, right after we got married in October 2009, and I found out I was pregnant January 2010 and had our first baby October 2010. And, I had very hard pregnancies and severe morning sickness. And it was just the entire pregnancy, all 3 pregnancies. So to have someone who is very, medically inclined and just knows all about the body because he's an EMT, you know, he took so good care of me. And you talk about Black maternal health. I know there's a lot of folks that do a lot of advocacy and organizing around that particular issue. And I just would have to say I was so blessed to have him support me in all 3 of my pregnancies, because I don't know if I would have made it.
I have so much respect for women, especially seeing the C-sections, right? That's very hard on a woman's body. And to see her go through it 3 times, you know, I told her I'd never do this to her again. But yeah, she's amazing. She went through it, although it was tough. You know, it was definitely a blessing to see her make it through all those pregnancies.
And that first baby, I mean, to see him and his response, right?
Oh,
It just, Sydney was just like, he was in awe. Yeah, he was in awe. Then Gianni, you know, came almost 3 years later, and then Nico came another almost 3 years later. And the last one, he was like, oh Lord, what I'm gonna do with 3 of them. So we really had to figure out, like, you know, our work schedules, childcare. We would do straight tag team. Like, I work in the morning, he works at night. We meeting downtown, hitting the high fives. All right, I'm out. You know, going to get the other one from school. It was a trip, you know, bringing babies into this world and trying to navigate, you know, the first couple of years. And so I did end up taking a 2-year hiatus from work because it was a lot. And so I just, you know, again, just appreciate, you know, his ability to support that, because I'm just like, I need to come off. I need to quit for a little bit. And, you know, he's the guy who makes sure our finances are intact, really with planning and coordinating all of that, because that's not my wheelhouse, right? I can plan and coordinate everything else, especially when it comes to spending some money.
Swipe.
But, you know, he made it possible, you know? And so, and then, you know, just thinking about like parenting styles, like sometimes our parenting styles are not in alignment, right? And so, but I have a lot of trust because he is a male and he is their father. And so sometimes I gotta go like this, you know. I realize too that, like, I may know some things, but he knows some things too. I may have birthed them, but you're gonna be the one to make sure that they grow up and be solid Black kings, you know. And so I don't know if you want to speak on something around parenting, but
I mean, I was going to ask about your perspective of this, because, you know, you're talking about fatherhood and you got 3 boys, you know, 3 young kings, and they're going to become Black men, particularly in this culture and climate we live in. There's so much that we got to pour into our young Black boys. To be honest, I know, because I got the 2 boys myself, so I understand that. Tell us about that from your perspective.
So I talk to my kids a lot. And I'm blessed to have a job now to where I can be at home with them at night to speak with them. Sometimes I'm tired, sometimes I can't do it, but a lot of times I do talk to them before they go to sleep. And if they don't remember anything else, I tell them 3 things: love God, love others, love yourself, you know. And it's important because, you know, to have a belief system that you can live by, that's going to ground you, that's going to keep you on track, keep you just keep you on a path to where you can be responsible, be aware of your surroundings, and be aware of your community and the people that look like you. It's important, you know. And they listen. They're young, obviously, you know, so sometimes it goes in one ear and out the other. Dad, where are my Pokemon cards at? You know, but you know, repetition is important. You know, you got to keep chopping wood. You got to keep sending that message home to them, because I think they might not be listening in the moment, you know, but they hear you sometimes. Because I'll teach my son, you know, Gianni, something. Like, he's a good athlete. I'll teach him something. He doesn't listen, right? But then I'll see him playing outside and I'm watching him and he does what I told him, you know, and I'm like, oh, he is listening, you know. So kids have a tendency to not be engaging in the moment when you try to teach them something, but they hear you. So that's what I try to bring home to them, is just love God, love others, love yourself, and know yourself, know who you are, know who, you know, who you show up as, you know. So
it's so powerful. And I mean, the last thing you're talking about going to a Christian college. You're talking about both of your families kind of being in bed in Christian ideology. You're talking about your pastor as your friend, you going down there with him, and now he's the pastor of the church. Tell us about that, because I think we've heard it from all the couples about there's this something that's foundational for them in the spiritual realm that really allows you guys to be, kind of solid on your own grounds. And you guys have been kind of weeding that through your answers all night. But, tell us about how important that is in terms of you guys having that constant balance between your energies and your spiritual connection. I'll start with you, Quin.
So the Bible talks about being equally yoked with somebody, and that, everyone's raised in their own particular, belief. Mine would happen to be Christianity. So that's been my belief system. So understanding that and trying to, find a spouse, that's always been one of the elements and qualities that I've kind of looked for. And God just put her right in front of me, and it was almost too good to be true. So in having somebody like that and being in a relationship with somebody like that and having children with somebody like that just makes things easier, because the way that we parent, even in disagreements, we all have a fallback. We all know what to go back to. And I think that's important, because if you're unequally yoked, I just feel like what's going to hold you accountable? What is binding your relationship? Because if it's emotion, those change every day. If it's, I love her, love is fickle. Love has its objective definition. But if it's agape love, if it's God's love, if it's unconditional love, then I'm loving you without condition. That means whatever you do, my love is here, but whatever you do is here. I have to show you forgiveness and compassion and love. The same way that God loves me is the way I have to love you. So that's what I try to do. That's what I try to give to my boys. So that if they're ever in the situation where they find their spouse, that they approach that the same way. So unconditional love is really the theme.
Yeah, absolutely. Erin.
I would just say, biblical principles for me govern my life, just like principles with organizing, things that you could look to help guide you. And so for me, that's what I've so appreciated just about my foundation, because I have something to fall back on. I have something to look to. And I tell people all the time, y'all better be thankful that I got the fruit of the Spirit. Hello. So yeah, and I mean, being evenly yoked, helps too. I mean, just the alignment and that foundational belief system is extremely helpful, you know. And so yeah.
Well, it's clear and it's evident on you both. As we learned about when you met and how it blossomed. You guys know after this break, we get to give you guys a moment to tell each other about that love that you have for one another. No pressure, no pressure. You guys stay tuned. After this short break, you're watching Black Love When We Met.
Hi, this is Robert Battle, Artistic Director of the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, and we're thrilled to be performing live on stage again. Come see the extraordinary Ailey dancers during my 10th anniversary season and enjoy some wonderful new work, plus returning audience favorites, including Revelation.
getting that roof Chris. Short temper, so you know I'm kinda ruthless. Bad pass, roll one, time to elevate. Yeah, part-time smoker when I medicate. Big step, a couple hoes up in the Dino. Fly 'em out to Vegas, couple just in the casino. Mean rep, I had to earn it, others buy it, money burning. I work harder, I deserve it. You a groupie, you a bird. I'm a
All right, everybody, welcome back to Black Love When We Met. I'm telling you guys, I think a lot of people out there are reaching out to me and telling me this is their favorite part of the show, where we get to give couples the opportunity to spread that love that they have for one another and share it to one another right here in the Black Media Matters studios. I get to bring this over here to you guys. You guys have been fantastic today. Before we even go there, thank you for being authentic and vulnerable and sharing your story and really closing out our amazing pilot week on a high. I got to tell you, it's just been great to be with you guys tonight.
Thank you.
So I get to start with you, Erin. I mean, now's the time for you to tell Quin, how important his love is to you.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Babe, hey, you've been rocking with me, you've been holding me down, holding me up, and not only me, but my entire family. I know it has not been easy, and I just want to thank you for your unconditional love, your agape love, and then just watching you and how you love on our boys. It's just, brings me constant chills, but also just the highest levels of gratitude. So I just thank you. I want you to know I love you, and let's keep rocking.
Beautiful. Quin, what would you
So-
like Erin to know in this moment?
So Proverbs 18:22 says, a man who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. So in finding you, in everything that you've done, and the way that you carry yourself, your spirit, the way that you operate as a mother and a wife, I know it's a good thing. You are my good thing. And I just want you to know that I love you. I thank God for you. There's nobody I'd want to be with. And I thank you for my boys.
Yes.
I thank you for you sharing your family with me, you sharing your mom with me. That's special to me. Sharing your grandparents with me recently, just your whole family. I thank them for accepting me. And I just love you for that. And I hope to spend so many more years with you. And I thank God for you. Love you.
Love you too.
Ooh, love is in the air this whole week. I'm telling you guys really are ending us on a high note. We here, for me, it was so important because I get to see amazing Black couples all the time out in community, and you guys really exemplify that in the way that how I just saw you. Because my son was rocking with y'all. Y'all like, come on, Johnny, no problem. It was all good. He fit in with one of the boys. He was good. But you know what? It was like, man, that was my first real, like, dang, I keep seeing Erin all over, but that was my real first connection with you, Quin, and like you guys accepted my son like that. And so honestly, I gotta say that I'm so honored. I'm so honored to be in space with you both. I can't wait for us to build more of a relationship together, because already, there's a lot of alignment. I'll just talk about the Capricorn thing for sure, but I gotta say, you guys really are ending us off well. Thank you so much for sharing your story with our audience, with me, and for trusting me to kind of guide you through this discussion.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
I will that it was great for you as much as it was for me, and I know it was for our audience.
Absolutely.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
Converge Media, and we love y'all.
Yeah, we love you guys.
Appreciate you.
I'm telling you, this entire week has been about showcasing these amazing couples all throughout our city and our county, that in our state, really, because some of them were coming from, King County mostly. But I just got to say, we want to do more of this. We want to be able to showcase these amazing couples and inspire you guys out there to understand that love is real. You know, we talk about the effects of the pandemic and people having a hard time getting out of their homes and getting to meet other people, but this show right here, Black Love When We Met, was designed to really give you guys a glimpse at what it looks like to keep a relationship alive. It takes so much on both sides, and it takes this balancing act. I can't wait to continue to bring you guys more of these kinds of stories, because for us at Converge Media, this is exactly what we were built for, honey. It was built for us to be telling our Black stories and flooding the gates with this positivity. I will that you guys have enjoyed this week of amazing Black stories of love just as much as I have. I got some tips that I need to take back with myself. I'm like, okay, as I'm looking at my own life, what am I going to learn from all these couples? There's been so much for me to take home, and I will that you guys actually felt that. I'm so elated to have you guys be with us. Also very elated for our partners. We appreciate your State Hotel, again, giving every one of these couples a free night stay. Also, Alvin Ailey with the tickets on lock. They're only here for 2 days. So I'm telling you guys to cop your tickets. Our couples will be there either on the 26th or 27th of this month. And also to our brother G-Prez and Presidential Transportation for your amazing Black car service that you're going to be extending to each one of these couples. It's been a great run, and I just appreciate everybody for pouring their love into Black Love When We Met. Thanks for watching. Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.